What's up, Ranger Nation? How you doing? It feels weird, like I'm half sitting, I'm standing, I don't know what I'm doing.
If you walk, I'll walk.
All right, so good morning, gang. We are so very excited, so blessed to have you guys here this morning. Thank you for taking the time out of your Power Morphicon to spend a few hours with us. I promise you will not be disappointed. We have some amazing things that are going to happen over the next couple panels. And in that spirit, so for those of you who don't know, my name is Jason Bishop. I guess I am the newly unpacked global franchise creative director for Hasbro. So I promise you that I am highly articulated. I've got dynamic poses in me. We're gonna be able to do some cool stuff. And honestly, just for the sake of saying, can we just take a moment to appreciate the fact that, like, what a crazy 25th anniversary already, right? So much has happened this year, and I say this respectively. Every time you guys were like, they're gonna zig, we zagged hard, right? Like,
you sure did.
I think we sort of kicked that off in the spirit of Shattered Grid. You saw that, what was that, 6 months ago? We Shattered Grid. Right on, thanks for doing so. Shattered Grid was a perfect example of that. Toy Fair was certainly a perfect example of that, in revealing that Hasbro was now Master Toy, which we're very, very excited about, and I am personally excited about for obvious reasons. And then, of course, the announcement for Beast Morphers specifically. Let's give it up for Beast Morphers. Not one person in this room saw that coming. And I'm very grateful for that. And we are very grateful for that, because there's amazing things happening on that front. But in that spirit, gang, why don't we go ahead and get this thing started? So, let me take a quick peek here at my notes. Here's what I can tell you. So when I told you that we zig, when you expected us to zig, we zag, well, the reality is it's a brand new day. I think that's the best way to articulate it. Everything's different. All the old stuff is off the table, and I found the perfect gift to sort of explain that to everybody. There you go. Right? But here's what I gotta tell you. Here's what I gotta tell you. We've had some pretty incredible things happen this year. We've had some product reveals. I also personally love the critique where everybody was like, oh man, that's not an announcement. We data mined that a month ago. I'm like, brother, we've been working on that for 14 months. So here's what I can tell you in the spirit of today. This is our time now, Power Punks. To our panelists this morning. There's some incredible people. We're very grateful to have them here. So please give it up for Chris Peralta from Enway. Come on up, Chris. Chris is our community development and social media strategist. Mr. Jesse Cherry, senior product development manager for Enway. Give it up for a longtime friend of mine, Mr. Scott Gaeta, president and publisher of Lineage Studios. And then the yin to my Hasbro yang, you can give it up to Malvika Netrabragada, who is our senior director of global franchise strategy, now on Power Rangers. And then really, the brains of the operation, our product development manager specifically for Hasbro, Miss Vanessa Fung. Come on up, Vanessa. All right, gang, just to kind of warm us up here, panelists, I know we're kind of in the dark, but it's kind of cool that way, too. So panelists, if you could just kind of go down the road and tell me, what is your favorite thing about Power Rangers? I'm not asking for like, I'm a really big Tommy fan. No, I'm like, what's your favorite thing about Power Rangers? It could be a character, it could also be something kind of meta. So just, let's go, Chris, down the line. You, Chris.
Yeah. Hey, what's up, guys? Favorite thing about Power Rangers, not because I'm sitting next to this guy, but SPD, series itself.
I'm in Time Force, yo. That's cool. SPD's rad. Keep going.
Inclusiveness.
Ooh. That's
Hey, control.
You took my answer. So yeah, no, I was going to say inclusiveness, and I really do like that it's family friendly and accessible to all ages. I think that's very important.
Right on.
Things about Power Rangers, the inclusiveness, and the liberal use of spandex.
Grow up with Power Rangers. It's definitely the Pink Rangers and definitely the inclusiveness.
Wow, a lot of inclusiveness this morning. I love it. Very inclusive answer. All right, so guys, we want to start things off a little bit with a sneak peek at what's been going on with our Legacy Wars games, specifically from our friends over at Enway. So to do that, we're going to kick off with a little video here. Here we go.
Peace, Warfare! Go away, Goldar!
Quick. My clicker is having so much trouble, gang. All right, cool. So, friends over at Enway, tell us a little bit about what's going on specifically for the 20th anniversary. Maybe, Jesse, you can highlight how is Enway going to be celebrating what's going on in this Power Rangers month, and more specifically, Power Rangers Day.
Yeah, so we have a new update coming out next week. It's sort of our 25th anniversary anniversary. Celebration. We are going to be doing 25 days of events. That includes missions, tournaments, challenges, free rewards, extra rewards. Just every day we want something to be happening. That will be starting kind of the 23rd, 25th. It might end up being actually 27 days to celebrate 25. We have a lot of stuff. We're going to be fully announcing all the features in the next couple days. You're going to be able to, for those of you that play the game, actually just send codes to each other and play Megazords finally getting that in. So.
Just for this, yeah, it's awesome. Just for the sake of asking, who is platinum in this room? You know what I'm talking about in terms of playing game? Okay, that's great. That's crazy. Okay, golds. I'm right up there with you. Silvers? Right on. And bronzes. Yeah! You are the heart of the earth. Thank you very much. Okay, so on that note, guys, anyway, you guys have had some crazy stuff sort of happening over the last 4 days or so. I don't know, for those of you who've been paying attention online on the Twitter sphere, but you've seen an image that looks like this. Yeah.
Oh my God!
Which was super, super cool. And then over the last few days, you've revealed 4 of these portals, which looks a little something like this. I gotta be so careful. Can't overclick. Can we advance the slide just one, please? Okay, so keep it right there. So for those of you who didn't catch the news, we announced in order SPD Shadow Ranger, Samurai Gold, Lightspeed Titanium, our very beloved Ranger Slayer. Right on, love the event. But guys, who's in the last portal? You gotta tell me, man.
Goldar? Fire Ranger.
Wait, let's get a poll of the room. Okay, the color's kind of an indicator, so on the count of 3, everybody shout out who you think it is. 1, 2, 3.
Fire Ranger.
Oh man, I heard like 3 specific answers. Well, how do we want to do this, guys? You just blurt it out for us.
I think we need some help. We need some help.
All right, so it sounds like we're going to need a little bit of help to reveal this last portal. So on that note, you guys want to introduce our special guest?
Oh shit!
So, I'd like to call up to the stage Mr. Paul Schreier.
Yes! Paul Polly, welcome.
Polly's looking a little tasty.
Man, you are looking good.
Everyone will be very quiet and be very still. So
Ladies and gentlemen, Jason Norby!
That one doesn't work. Use this one.
This one's perfect for Jason. Give it to Norby.
What's up, party people?
Oh, hold on a second. I forgot my costume.
What's up, Andre? It's awfully dark in here. It's a good thing your head is at least glowing. Budget cuts, man.
All right, Polly, so you want to give us a little tease as to who's in the portal?
I can tell you right now that it's Hyperforce! Drink Congo, ain't got it on her.
Yes, honey.
Jack D. Thomas enters the Morphin Grid specifically to help out with all of our other Rangers. We are so stoked to see this slide kind of come into fruition. Anyway, when can we expect to see Hyperforce Yellow drop in game?
He will be dropping in October, right alongside Titanium. In that same month, both those characters are coming in October.
Hey, you guys, in this room, who's been playing this game? Who? Raise your hands. All right, that's not enough hands. Honestly, this is the pantheon of Ranger greatness. You have an obligation to me, to your mom, and to Jason Narby to play this game because it's awesome. Especially if Jack D. Thomas, the tank, is in effect.
Thomas the Tank Engine? That's a different franchise, Paul. You can't say that at this panel.
Panel over. Okay, so Polly, as we're integrating Jack into the game, can you give us a little pointer, some pointers as to how we capture Jack's personality specifically in this virtual form?
Well, you've got to, like any tank, you have to really plan your moves carefully, hit hard because you can, but don't get over eager and be a button puncher. You know what I'm saying? Time your attacks. That's my advice.
Sick. And then just anecdotally, man, we have not had a chance to actually kind of personally catch up and talk about this, but what is it truly like being on the other side of the Ranger suit?
Stretchy. Man, spandex is a hell of a drug.
Hold on. Choose your timing carefully and stretchy. All right, man, we got it. We're good. No, but legit, we're super excited to have Jack join the game. Anyway, anything else you want to share specifically on maybe the character model that we've got on screen right now?
Yeah, I mean, so you can see the concepts up there. He will be a big, bad... You can feel him last second. Yeah, Ranger, you know, we're gonna have a Ranger that has that muscle, that thickness.
That thickiness.
Now, you don't have to dance around it. I'm sitting right here, man. You know, I mean, look, that's the cool thing about Jack D. Thomas is that we are embracing all morphologies here, and I mean that in the most respectful sense. You can be big and still kick it.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Thighs.
He's got big thighs.
Well, on those thunderous words.
Hey!
No, but again, let's give it up one more time for Mr. Paul Schreier and certainly Mr. Jason Army. Thank you very much, guys, for being here.
Did you let you get your names? Narby, what panel is joined?
New Rangers.
Give it up one more time for our good friends. Polly and Jason. Thanks again, guys. Alright, check out this new video we got dropping, guys, specifically for Samurai Gold. It's going to be up in just a couple weeks. next couple things, again, we want to just keep you guys up to date on the latest, greatest of what's happening in Ranger Nation. So I'm going to just kind of quickly burn through a few slides, just to maybe remind folks that may not be aware of the news as it's been breaking over the last couple weeks. So we'll talk briefly about our good friends over at... Thank you. I'm so sorry. Sorry, guys. Over at Funko, so for those of you that weren't aware, we actually revealed our civilian head Funkos, Funko Pops, just a couple weeks ago. And then that kind of spiraled into some additional news where we revealed... We gotta come up with like a signal. Thank you. It's the high sign. We're gonna give you the high sign. So we revealed some of our villains that we've been cooking out for you guys in celebration of the 25th anniversary. For those that aren't aware, Pudgy Pig and Pumpkin Wrapper are both exclusive to GameStop, so be sure to check those out. They're going to be running a special Heroes vs. Villains campaign over the next few weeks. Again, all in celebration of the 25th anniversary. High sign. Cool. And then on top of that, we also expanded our Zord line, right? So many of you have seen the 6-inch Megazord specifically here at Power Morphicon, which was created just for this event, which is super cool. There's also a glow-in-the-dark Megazord that's coming out, a 6-inch Tiger Zord over at Hot Topic, so check that. And then my personal favorite, it is a 12-inch Pop Ultra Zord for Target. And when I tell you that this thing is the coolest pop I've ever seen in my life, I'm understating it. So if you have a chance and you'd like to see this thing, just cruise by the booth today. If you see me, I'll pull it out of the back for you just to get a sneak peek, okay? All right, moving on. There are also two things that we have not announced. The first one is a metallic green civilian Tommy, and then that's my data mining comment from just a few minutes ago. Yesterday, this was revealed via Toy Wiz, so thanks to our friends over at Toy Wiz. Let's high sign that. Lord Draken is coming out with 6-inch pop. All right, now let's turn it over to our good friends over at Renegade Game Studios and my buddy Scott Gata, whom I've known for like
A long time.
a long time, like a decade.
Yeah.
Cool. So Scott, hey, thanks for being here. All right, so more specifically, can you maybe give us a top line as to what's going on with the Heroes of the Grid Kickstarter that just launched just a couple days ago? So I'm going to be flipping through a couple slides here, but give us maybe a top line of what's going on, how this came together, that kind of thing.
Sure. So Heroes of the Grid is a cooperative miniatures board game where players take on the roles of different rangers. So we're starting off with Mighty Morphin. You can play one of the core rangers, and you are working together against the game. The game will be spawning monsters like Rita Repulsa and Pudgy Pig and Nasty Knight, and you have to protect Angel Grove from being overrun by all the bad guys. If you don't work together as a team, you will fail, you will lose. If you work together and use your ranger powers appropriately, you will overcome the threat. The game is highly replayable. We're doing lots and lots of miniatures, and the campaign has already unlocked a White Light expansion with the White Ranger, Green with Evil expansion with the Evil Green Ranger, the Shattered Grid expansion with Horde Drakon, Ranger Slayer, and a host of other characters. I think now we're up to something like 40 unique characters unlocked, or more. I can't keep track anymore. We're sculpting and adding characters constantly. I brought along a friend, Megazord. This is an actual to scale figure for the game. So you guys can see Megazord, and he's an add-on for the game. There's various tiers. You can start off basic, get the base game that comes with all the rangers, pretty much all the villains that I just mentioned. And then there's also an all-in tier that just gets you everything that we unlock and that we put into the game. You just get it all.
So, just for the sake of asking, Scott, why do this through Kickstarter?
So this is new for us. We've been around for a while, and we normally don't use the platform. But for Power Rangers, the one thing that we miss is a direct connection to the fans. So normally we produce a game, it goes into distribution, it goes out to stores. But for Power Rangers, we really wanted to form a relationship directly with all of you guys, because we want to know what you want next. And yeah, so like we're getting feedback in real time. People are telling us what characters they want to see added to the game and what they'd like us to do down the road. You know, we can't do everything off the bat, like for launch. You know, there's 25 years of characters to draw from. But we're already, we're taking notes, and there's a really awesome dialogue, and we have plans to continue to use that direct connection to all our backers that are jumping on board early and all these early adopters, and we want to know what to do next. And the cool thing is, as we put out more Rangers, you can build your own team. You don't just have to take the Mighty Morphin team and play the game, because there's new boards and new scenarios and all sorts of stuff that you can do. You can build your dream team with Rangers that we release and kind of do your own thing, which is really, really cool.
So that actually brings up a really important question, which is, hey, can I just wait until next spring and still be able to capture characters like the Wizard of Deception or Pumpkin Rapper?
So no, there are some things that if you're not familiar with Kickstarter called stretch goals that will be exclusive, Kickstarter exclusives. So if you jump on board early and you pledge now and you get in on it, you're going to get some miniatures that won't be released to retail down the road. So there's some really cool exclusives that are to reward the people that are the early adopters and jump on board and get involved right from the beginning. So you're going to have some exclusives just for you.
And as a big old nerd on this side of the table, somebody who's actually had a chance to see what some of those stretch goals look like, when I tell you there are deep cuts, there are deep cuts. In fact, Scott, you were very generous to basically tell me yesterday that you still wanted to reveal one deep cut that's going to be available soon. So, you want to do the honors?
Yeah, so we revealed right from the beginning that we were doing Megazord. And Megazord's really awesome, but we figured that the bad guys needed something awesome too. So we're announcing for the first time, it'll be up on the site probably tomorrow, that Cyclopsis is being added. Megazord's got some competition now.
And the crazy thing is, guys, as far as I know, in franchise history, this is the first time Cyclopsis will actually be immortalized in one form or another. Yes? Yeah. So, very excited about that, Scott. Thank you very much for keeping it going. And for those of you that already have contributed to the Kickstarter, you're super legit and rad. We really love that. And for those that are still considering it, please do so, because there's so much good stuff that you have yet to even see unlock as part of those stretch goals. Anything else, Scott?
No, come by the booth. We actually have Jonathan Ying, the game's designer. He's on the booth. We're demoing. We have prototypes. So all the stuff that you see is not finished, not final, but we have prototypes that we made just for you guys for Power Morphicon. We haven't brought them to any other game conventions. You can play it and be the first people on the planet to actually play the game and check out all the minis.
Legit. So give it up for Scott Gaeta, guys. Very, very excited about that relationship. All right. So, unfortunately, not everybody can always fly in specifically for this event. We certainly have partners that are across the country doing all sorts of good work. And so, we have a new partner that's come on board that wanted to show a couple new goodies that they've been working on specifically. So, I guess on their behalf, I'm just going to kind of show you a few slides here for a group called Lineage Studios. And Lineage is actually going to be launching in just the next couple weeks. They're kind of taking a different spin at what it means to do collectibles. So let me give you a sneak peek of what they're thinking. So for them, they're thinking about not just collecting stuff, but wear your collection. So they've put together a pretty compelling new pin program that specifically celebrates the original Power Morpher, certainly in 2 versions. You've seen, thank you for that. That's like everybody in the room checking their phone right now. So. But no, they're going to be celebrating the Power Morpher specifically in 2 versions. You're going to see the classic silver Power Morpher and certainly the gold version. And the coins themselves will be modular, so you can just kind of swap them in and out, collect all the coins that you want. But here's the crazy thing. For as much as I'm showing you, what is that, 7 coins on slide right now, there are actually more coins than that. Coins that actually spill into some of the other initiatives that we were talking about earlier today, like Shattered Grid. So stay tuned for that, but I'm more specifically interested in this next thing. This is a really kooky idea, but basically they were thinking, hey, all fandom deserves those cinema moments, really seeing the full potential of what a fandom moment is. So they put together this concept called Cinema Scene. Right? Now, it's a placeholder name. I don't know if that's going to be the final name, but Cinema Scene is take all your favorite stuff across your specific fandoms and create the movie poster version, complete with title, credits, and everything. So for that, they're working on 3 specific posters right now that they're ready to reveal. These are still works in progress, so give them a little bit of space, but check it out, guys. Forever Red, Shattered Grid, and Soul of the Dragon. So what they're going to be doing here is working with, honestly, some of the most profound industry-leading artists out there that are doing kind of that like Drew Struzan level movie poster stuff and really realizing it in full graphic effect. So again, these are kind of placeholder work in progress, but you're going to see these go live in just a couple weeks. Give them some love because to me this is a really cool idea, and I especially love the idea of the title block on the bottom. So check it out. We're really stoked for Lineage Studios, and they'll be live in just a couple weeks. So that's Lineage. All right, so for those of you unfamiliar, Hasbro is here exhibiting. We're actually in the corner. Come check us out. Come say hi. We put a full display of 25 years of costumes, helmets, props, all sorts of goodies on display. We've also, at the info desk, got a handy little tool we call DropMix. Who is familiar with DropMix? So for those of you unfamiliar, DropMix is basically a system whereby it breaks down every single cool song you've ever heard into like 4 basic or 5 basic parts. But what's cool about it is it allows you either in a freestyle mode or in a competitive mode to actually create new songs on the spot from the pieces and parts of the songs that you love. And the DropMix team is very, very cool to the Power Rangers franchise team. They quickly onboarded the 4th ever promo card for the game. It's only available here this weekend at Power Morphicon, so come say hi. We'll give you one of those promo cards. It is actually the original Mighty Morphin theme song, which we worked directly with Mr. Ron Wasserman to source. So Ron was just a super cool dude. And so for those of you unfamiliar, this is the redo version that he released just a couple years ago. And the reason we went with that one is because that's the only one that was available with the appropriate audio tracks that we needed to make it specifically for DropMix. And honestly, it's kind of a pumped up version and I love it. It sounds great. Come by the booth, come hang out with us, DropMix some Power Rangers into something crazy. And on that note, I think that's all we've got to show, right, Nalvika and Vanessa?
Well, actually, it's not quite there yet. Our team has been working really hard the last couple of months to get everything ready, to have something really amazing product to show you, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so it's a little early to be revealing anything normally. But, you know, I've only been on the brand for a few months, and I've met a lot of you over the course of different conventions and shows, and you guys have been really nice. Really patient. So, you know, we have a little anniversary. We'll call this an 25th anniversary. So instead of me talking, let's just roll it.
Definitively answers whether or not Hasbro is going to be doing stuff specifically for our fan community. Guys, just for the sake of saying it, 3-4 months ago, I had a chance to see one of these for the first time in person on a yet unannounced character. And when I saw it, I had to like blink for a second and figure it out because it was like seeing a Ranger for the first time in HD. Does that make sense? Like it was perfectly realized. So, Nalvika, maybe you can give us a top line as to what really makes the Lightning Collection special, please.
Yeah, so, I mean, at Hasbro, no matter what fandom you're a part of, we want to give you guys the best figures you possibly can.
Yes!
So, for Lightning Collection, it's really about the quality. So, it's going to be 6-inch figure scale, premium details, premium deco. You'll get all great accessories. You're going to get a swappable head, so it has something called photoreal technology. So it's a really great way to get the details on the faces as well, because we have a full library to choose from.
Accessories, thank you.
Let's talk about these next 3 red beats specifically. So, accessories included. What about the next one, Malvika?
I can't see, Jason.
I'm sorry you can't see. I'll help you out. Optional special effects included.
Especially that is really helping everybody bring everything, all the character to life. Especially in the action pose with the impact and all those light explosions. So you can finally do it.
Yes, Hasbro. Bring it.
All right. And then lastly, that swappable photoreal actor likeness included. And let me be clear, guys. I'm not saying that, and I don't think anybody here on the stage is saying, oh, you're going to get one of these things per figure. It's all of these things per figure. So, really legit, really excited about that. Man, so exciting. I think at this time, we're going to open it up to a little bit of audience Q&A and see what you guys are curious about. So we actually have a microphone set up on the left over here. If you just want to make an orderly line, we would love to take some questions from you. And real quick, I'm going to just kind of throw it out to the room. Please, Ranger Nation rules apply. And what I mean by that is just be cool, right? Be respectful. We're very grateful to have some of the folks up here that they volunteered their time to be here. So yeah, with that, let's kick it off with Q Red, who's Q.